What's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and before we get into this video, I just want to say I know late on some of these videos. I know I haven't recorded in a while. Last week, I got sick, didn't end up recording last week's power rankings or the game predictions. I did post my week 6 game predictions on my Twitter, though. Went 13-1, so my best week of the season, so that was really cool. And then I did end up going to Charlotte for the Panthers Falcons game. Panthers lost, kind of tough game, but so that was fun. I was just getting back on Tuesday, so kind of getting back into the swing of things. So that's why I'm a little bit late recording this week's videos too. So today I'm actually throwing the Week 7 power rankings and game predictions into one video. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the power rankings or game predictions. I want to keep it a relatively good length video. So I'm not adjusting the power rankings as I go today. I've already adjusted them as they'll be. I do want to mention there's not really a big change in the top 5. I mean, since the last power rankings, the Vikings, Chiefs, and Lions were top 3. I moved the Bills up to 4. Texans were at 4. They're down to 5. I just think the Bills are the better team. Ravens are up to 6. I made a mistake in my last power rankings where I thought that it was the Bengals that beat the Ravens in overtime that week, but it was the other way around. So I had the Bengals a little bit too high, Ravens a little too low that week. So after 2 straight wins there, actually, the Ravens are actually up to 6. They had an impressive win against the Commanders. Number 7, Packers. I mean, they they beat the Cardinals pretty bad, so there's that. The Niners, Jordan Mason got injured relatively early on in that game against the Seahawks, and the Niners still looked unstoppable. Offense looked great. Defense looked solid. They were getting turnovers. It's a good week for for the Niners. I do have the Falcons at number 9. I mean, they're a good team. They're coming off, is it 3 straight wins? Because I know, obviously, they beat the Panthers, and then they beat the Falcons, the Bucks the week before. I want to say the week before was when they beat the Saints, actually. So, Falcons are doing pretty well. They're 3-0. They're 3-0 in the division. So I have them at number 9. Bucks, I have at number 10. I know they lost to the Falcons last week. That was in overtime. They bounced back this week and just slaughtered the Saints. Really impressive by them. Number 11, I have the Commanders. Commanders are a team that they're going to be right at the edge of that top 10 week in and week out. They're a good team, especially offensively. One of the highest powered offenses in the entire league. Defense, I think, needs to defense needs to improve a little bit, to be honest. But the offense is really impressive. 12, I've got the Chicago Bears. They've been stringing together some really nice wins lately. I know they haven't played like great teams, but I mean, they absolutely beat the brakes off the Jags, and then the week before they destroyed the Panthers. I think the week before was when I think they beat the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. So they're stringing some wins together. Caleb Williams is looking better. DeAndre Swift is getting going now. So that offense is coming together, and it's really working nicely for the defense too. They're a team I could also see work into the top 10 soon. 13, I have the Eagles. I'm not going to lie, part of me kind of felt like this was a little too high, but I also kind of looked at everyone else below and was like, who do I really put above them? I mean, the Bengals lost the week before. They kind of had it a little bit too close with the Giants, to really, you know, make me feel good about that. The Jets lost. I know they added Devontae Adams. That's why they're as high as 15 right now. Because I think that'll be really good for them. But I mean, I couldn't put them above the Eagles. Broncos are doing pretty well, but they did lose to the Chargers last week, so couldn't really put them above either. So that's kind of my thing with the Eagles. Like, there's no one that I really felt great about putting them above. So, like I just said, I covered the Bengals, Jets, and Broncos real quick. Seahawks. They're on a little bit of a losing streak now. I know they've had some tough matchups, but they're just not looking great, especially defensively. As well as Geno's turning the ball over. I know he's throwing for a lot of yards, even throwing some touchdowns. I know the rest of the offense is looking pretty good, but when you're turning over the ball and defense isn't playing well, you're not going to win games. That's kind of how the Panthers situation is. Like, you know, the offense is moving. They're kind of figuring it out, but there's turnovers and the defense is allowing way too many points. So that's kind of how the Seahawks are right now. 18, I have the Steelers, and I know this sounds way, way too low for a 4-2 team. My thing is, I'll be completely honest with you. I hated the move to put Russell Wilson in instead. They've been winning with Justin Fields. Russell Wilson is coming off an injury. I don't see a reason to put Russell Wilson in when Fields is making it work. I know he's not like lighting up the stat sheet, but he has 10 total touchdowns. He's only thrown, I think, only one interception, actually. And that interception, if you go back and watch it, I believe it was against the Chargers, actually. I think it got tipped. So you could argue not really his fault there either. I mean, Justin Fields is taking care of the ball and they're winning games. I cannot understand them putting Russ in instead of Fields. So that's why they're this low. Again, it's a power ranking, not necessarily how they have been doing. So, I mean, if Russ comes in and lights it up, obviously they're going to take a big boost up. But for right now, I don't like the move. I really don't. 19, I have the Cardinals. They're coming off a bad loss against the Packers. They kind of got shellacked there. That's all I really have to say there. Cowboys have been atrocious this year. One of the worst defenses in the league. Offense is kind of failing to make things happen too. Really, CeeDee Lamb is the one like real bright spot on that offense right now. It's just looking bad for the Cowboys, and I think Cowboys fans are also going to be like the first ones to tell you that's completely true. I even thought about having them a little lower, but it's one of those things that you kind of have a little bit of a feeling that if you move them lower, as soon as you do that, they're going to have just like a crazy dominant win, and I'm going to look stupid for having them that low. But that's just me. 21, I have the Colts. This is kind of about where they've been all season. Like, they've either been super, super closely losing games or super closely winning games. The games that they've been winning, I feel like, have been to not great teams. Games that they've lost, I think 21's a pretty solid spot for them. We'll have to see how the offense looks, with Anthony Richardson coming back. I thought it looked really good with Flacco in. We'll have to see how Richardson looks. 22, I have the Chargers. I thought they have been looking pretty good, especially defensively. Saints, I have at 23. They're, they're on a 4-game losing streak. When I started recording this video, I saw that they were down 13-3. I don't know what the score is right now, but when I started recording this, they were down 13-3 to the Broncos before halftime. So maybe going for a 5th straight loss right there. And I know they're all banged up too. Saints are in a tough spot, so keeping them at 23. And then Rams coming off a loss as well. Yeah, coming off a tough loss there. The Giants, I was kind of impressed at how close they kept it with the Bengals. That's why I've got them there at 25. I think they can move up if they can actually find ways to win the games. Dolphins, I have at 26. They were on a bye. Offense, well, really the whole team together hasn't looked good without Tua, and I kind of want to have them lower, but also you look at all of these bottom teams, they've also looked atrocious. So I feel like really these last 9, 10 teams, they've all just been such a crapshoot. I feel like any given week you can scramble these guys for the worst team in the league, I do feel like with the Rams at least, having Cooper Kupp coming back, that's going to give them a boost. I would expect Puka to be back before too long as well. So they'll probably move back up soon. But Raiders obviously losing Devontae Adams. Jags have been a horrible team. Browns are atrocious. I really want to have them lower than 28, to be honest. I really want to have them lower. Some of these teams down here are are atrociously bad. And honestly, you look at these bottom 10 teams, I wouldn't blame you for any order you have them in, honestly. I think they're all just awful right now. But those are kind of my quick power rankings. So let's go ahead and get on into the Week 7 predictions. Alright, so before we actually get into the Week 7 predictions, I didn't want to throw up. I did tweet out earlier at 4:16, 2 hours before the game, my time, because I'm in Mountain Time, not having my game predictions in before the game starts, but I'm predicting the Broncos to beat the Saints. So far it's looking promising. Broncos are up 16-3 right now on the Saints, so looking like a promising prediction. Obviously, game's not over yet, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Wanted there to be proof right there that I predicted that before the game. Which, while we're here, guys, make sure to drop the Twitter a follow. I do have the link to it in the description, so make sure to go give that a follow. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on into the Week 7 game predictions. Whoa, got an ad right there. Hold on, it's not closing. Alright, sorry about that ad there, guys. Yeah, so, like I showed you on my Twitter, I have the Broncos winning that game. I'm going to do kind of speed predictions here. Not going to go, I'm not going to take too much time going over any of them. Like I said, I want this to be a relatively quick video. So, I do have the Jags beating the Patriots. I do have I'm going to go Colts over the Dolphins. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins could pull up something off, though. I think they'll be able to run really well against the Colts. So there's that. But Bills over the Titans. I don't know if Amari Cooper is going to play for them quite yet, but that's going to be a fun one. Bengals over Browns. I'm going to go Jets over Steelers, though with Steelers being at home, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. Again, I just don't love them starting Russell Wilson when Fields has been that good. So, going over to the Texans at Packers. This should be a fun game. One of the many really good games this week. Jordan Love against CJ Stroud. I think it's going to be a really fun one. I think I'm actually going to lean the Packers here. If it was in Houston, I'd probably lean Houston. But I'm going to go with the Packers to win this one. Then I'm going to go to the Rams to beat the Raiders. I'll go Chiefs over Niners, though with that being in San Fran. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners won that. Monday Night Football. We have the Ravens taking on the Bucks. I feel like this could be a little bit of a trap game. I could see either team winning this. I've been back and forth on this. I think on my ESPN pick'em, I predicted the Ravens, because that's what I was feeling earlier. Part of me's kind of feeling the Bucks now, but I'm so torn on it. I think I'm going to try to stay linear with my ESPN picks and go Ravens. And then also on Monday, we have the Chargers taking on the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win that one. I like that matchup. And then we have what I think will be the real game of the week. Lions at Vikings. This is going to be a fun game. Vikings currently undefeated. Lions are 5-1? Or no, they've had a bye. 4-1. Yeah, 4-1. Two powerhouses right now. Vikings with a really high-powered defense and solid offense. Lions with a super high-powered offense and solid defense. So, just really good matchups all the way. I think I am going to go with the Vikings to win this one. I expect actually a high-scoring game. I expect each team to score 25 plus. I think that's going to be a really fun one. Then I'm going to go with the Falcons over Seahawks. I just think the Falcons are the better team, and they're home in Atlanta. They're on a hot streak right now. Seahawks are kind of cold right now. Going Atlanta. And then I'm actually going to call the upset here. I'm going to call the upset here and say New York beats the Eagles. If it was in Philly, not so sure I'd call the upset there. Again, there's a lot of games this week that the home field advantage is kind of swaying my vote a little bit. So I'm going to go with the Giants right here. So, and then last game, we have the Panthers at the Commanders. I'm going to go with the Commanders. Their offense is just too high-powered. Panthers' defense is atrocious. I do expect this to be actually a very high-scoring game. I think both teams score 30 plus. Though that said, I actually think the Commanders score 40 plus. I honestly think it's going to be something in the range of like 45 to 31. I think that's the type of game that I see for that game. So, kind of quick picks. Let me know what you think of all this in the comment section below. Again, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and follow the Twitter. Again, link in the description. And I'll see you next time. Later.